Tokyo was not crowded that morning. The sky was pale ash, the air was still cold, and the bustle of the city had not yet fully woken up. But it was precisely in the quiet hours that a moment was caught by fans' cameras. Unexpectedly, Jungkook was seen going out alone, wearing a hat and mask, stepping toward a small market in Tokyo, without Taehyung by his side. Meanwhile, reports from people nearby say that Taehyung is still at the hotel. Two different locations, two different decisions, and one big question immediately spreads. What really happened? For the army, the sight felt unusual. Jungkook is known to rarely be completely alone when abroad, especially in public places. And Taehyung, who has often been seen walking hand in hand with him now, chooses to stay at the hotel. The unsynchronization sparked a wave of speculation. But like many silent moments before, the answer lies not in conflict, but in emotional need that is rarely seen by the public. According to those around the schedule, the previous night went pretty heavy. Jungkook went through a long, stressful day that wasn't all on the surface. He seems calm, but his emotional exhaustion is real. That morning, instead of choosing complete rest, Jungkook made a simple but important decision. He wanted to go out for a while. Not for the schedule, not for the content, but rather to feel the world in its own rhythm. The Tokyo market he went to was not a popular place. No glare of lights, no crowds of tourists. Only small stalls, the smell of warm food, and the sound of the steps of local people who live their day calmly. In such a place, Jungkook can walk without being the center of attention, while remaining recognizable. He stopped at a few stalls, bought snacks, stared at the simple shelves, as if remembering something from the past days before the world knew him as BTS's Jungkook. Meanwhile, Taehyung stays at the hotel. The decision was not accidental. He knew Jungkook needed a different space that morning. Not accompanied, not watched, not protected, but trusted. Taehyung chooses to stay, making sure everything is safe from a distance, without interfering in Jungkook's ongoing process. This is not a cold distance, but rather a mature form of attention. Those familiar with Taehyung and Jungkook's dynamic understand one important thing. Their closeness doesn't always look like physical togetherness. Sometimes, even a temporary separation is part of the way they take care of each other. Taehyung knows that Jungkook often finds calm when walking alone, permeating small details, letting his mind breathe without having to adjust to anyone. When photos of Jungkook in a Tokyo market begin to circulate, ARMY is torn between concern and empathy. Many are anxious to see him alone, but not a few also saw something else on his face, a calmness that rarely appeared. No camera smiles, no exaggerated gestures. Only Jungkook walked slowly, observing, fully present in the moment that a few hours later, Jungkook returned to the hotel with a small bag in his hand. No statement, no explanation. But according to witnesses around, he looked lighter. Taehyung greeted her in the same way as usual, without excessive questions, without pressing curiosity. They shared a back room, as if that morning was a necessary respite. Taehyung's decision to stay at the hotel is not a sign of absenteeism. Quite the opposite. He understands that accompanying someone doesn't always mean stepping in wherever they go. Sometimes, the best support is to trust that the person knows what they need. Taehyung doesn't worry about Jungkook too much, as he believes in the calm that Jungkook seeks. This story later developed not as a rumor of separation, but as a portrait of emotional maturity. Two people who have grown up together under extreme scrutiny now understand that taking care of each other also means respecting differences in how to deal with fatigue. Jungkook chose to walk in the Tokyo market. Taehyung chooses to stay at the hotel. Both chose the best for that moment. For the ARMY, this moment became a gentle reminder that behind the dense schedule and global image, there are individuals who still need simple things. Morning air, slow steps, the smell of food, and space for silence. Jungkook came out alone not because he was abandoned, but because he was trusted. And Taehyung stayed not because he moved away, but because he understood. Tokyo that morning may seem ordinary to the city itself, but for those paying attention, it's a small snippet of a larger story about intimacy that isn't always in sight, about unannounced attention, and about how two people can stay connected despite walking in different places for a while. Jungkook's steps in the Tokyo market that morning went slowly, almost without a clear purpose. He is not in a hurry, nor does he look like someone who is carrying out a certain plan. He stopped in front of a small stall selling fresh fruit, stared at the simple colors neatly arranged, then switched to another stall offering warm food. Some recognized him, but chose to remain silent. There was some kind of unwritten agreement in the air that morning, Jungkook just wanted to be a casual visitor. What the public rarely knows is how important such moments are to Jungkook. From a teenager, his life is governed by schedules, supervision, and expectations. Walking alone in a public place, without an entourage, without an official purpose, is a small luxury that he rarely has. Tokyo, with its calm rhythm in the morning, gives that space. And Jungkook takes full advantage of it, not to escape, but to remember himself. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Taehyung doesn't really rest. He was in his room, the window slightly open, staring at the street from a distance. He knew where Jungkook was going. He knows the reason behind that decision. And most importantly, he knows when to ask and when to be silent. Taehyung doesn't send repeated messages, doesn't ask for news every minute. His trust was not something far-fetched. It was born out of years of knowing Jungkook at his best and at his worst. For Taehyung, the morning was not about accompanying, but about keeping at the right distance. He made sure the security went as it should, making sure Jungkook's time was not interrupted. He chose to stay because he knew that if he went, things would change. Jungkook will again be Jungkook BTS, not Jungkook who is looking for peace in the small alleyways of Tokyo. As photos of Jungkook on the market began to circulate more widely, the public narrative briefly took a wrong turn. Some wondered why Taehyung wasn't with him. There are also those who invent stories about emotional distance. But over time, the ARMY's reaction became more mature. Many began to notice small details. The way Jungkook walked unhurriedly, the way he held the shopping bag casually, the uneasy gaze. All of that speaks louder than rumors. Some soldiers living in Tokyo even wrote that they deliberately kept their distance, did not approach, did not take close-up photos. There's a naturally growing respect, as if everyone understands that this moment is not to be exploited, but to be taken care of in silence. Jungkook is given the most precious gift, momentary normality. When he returned to the hotel, the atmosphere changed without words. Taehyung saw him enter, a small pouch in his hand, his face more relaxed. No why questions, no interrogations. Only a short greeting, a mutual understanding look, and a comfortable silence. Jungkook put down his things, sat down for a while, then smiled a little, an unconstrained smile. They then continue the day as usual. The schedule goes, the world again demands attention. But something has shifted, albeit thin. Jungkook brings home the serenity of that Tokyo market, and Taehyung brings the reassurance that making room never means losing. Both knew that the morning was a small part of a long process of maintaining balance in the midst of life that rarely gives pause. The story of Jungkook going out alone and Taehyung staying at the hotel eventually became a symbol. It's not about distance, it's about trust. Not about separation, but rather about a different way of surviving. And for ARMY, this story served as a warm reminder that strong relationships are not always shown by visible togetherness, but by an understanding that does not need to be explained. Tokyo came back a lot that afternoon. The market is filled with noise, the streets are crowded, and the city continues its life. But the quiet morning remained as a small piece of meaning. Jungkook walks alone, Taehyung waits at the hotel, and between the two, there's an unwavering bond. Just flexible enough to make room, then back to standing side by side when the time comes.